is Maya, and this is my story. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, Humboldt Park. It's been obviously 32 years. Obviously 32 years old. I am the youngest of five. Um, I have two brothers and with me three sisters. So obviously five of us. So growing up, I remember that living in a Mexican household, obviously, and just live having my mom and my dad. Obviously, my mom knew how I was and how unique I was, and so obviously my father, he always knew also, but he never accepted it. He basically tried to make me more masculine because he knew that I was fragile, and I would always run to my mom and sorry. Oh my god. Yeah. So my dad never wanted to have a flamboyant kid. So what he did to make me that como se le dice machismo, to make me to be a man or whatever, he like would hit me and stuff like that, and make me go to like places that I didn't want to go. And so obviously my mom and my father divorced, not because of me, but because of the problems that they had or whatever. And so growing up, it was kind of difficult. It was difficult, and too much violence, not within my household, but within myself. Violence in my own self, trying to be myself. And so I grew up going to church. My mom is a Christian woman. Obviously, I learned about the whole church, Christianity, and how also in church they would tell you that being gay or being, well, I didn't know back then that I was trans, so I thought that I was gay. And so they kept saying about oh yeah, the gays are going to go to hell because that's not God. That you're not supposed to be gay or whatever. And so I would write 3 diaries. I have 3 diaries, and still this day I still write in my diaries, just telling God, like I did not choose my life to be like this. I told my mom, I'm like, do you think that do I want to go through this discrimination? Do I want to go through these battles, even in society, obviously? And so then going to church, people telling you all of this, that you're not supposed to do that. That affected me a lot. And so to tell you that I try to commit suicide. Yeah, I tried to commit suicide, and obviously it never went. It never happened because I guess I had a purpose. And so my mom caught me the last time, obviously, and she was crying, and she just told me that she loves me. And she told me that she loves me. She will always be there to support me and to love me and to care for me. And nobody, I didn't need nobody. I only needed her. And so that's why I adore my mom. I love my mom because of that. She showed me to live my life. She showed me to live my life, to go to whatever I want to live, and how I want to live, but do it safely, obviously. And so I stopped going to church. I also going to high school. I was going to the Christian school. It was my Christian school, and it was my Christian church also, and they had a school. And so I was there for 2 years, my sophomore and my junior. And then when I came out as being gay, obviously in my junior year, I was 16. I came out as being gay, and I met a lot of people that were gay. Not in there though. I was basically one of the first ones coming out, and basically they the principal, which is the pastor, obviously, they asked me, you need to stop. They put me into a room with my mom, and they said that I needed to stop living the life that I'm living because it's not right, and if not, then they were gonna have to kick me out. And obviously, like I told my mom, like, mom, I want to leave. I want to leave because this is not the place for me. And obviously, I left. I graduated at a different high school, and I was basically so much happy leaving that Christian private school, and then graduating with at a public school, which was amazing. I met so many people that I still to this day I talk to. It was an experience that I never forget, and obviously I always cherish, because that's what when I grew up, and then coming out, and then later on I met a lot of different LGBT people that I was just amazed. I met drag queens, I met lesbians, I met people that were so amazing, and from the drag shows that I saw transgender women also, but I didn't know that they were transgender. I just thought that they were just doing show because of it, or whatever. But as I kept meeting other people, they told me, that's a trans, and I'm like, what is that? And then like, well, she was born biological man, but now she's a trans woman. She's a woman, because now she lives her life as a woman. And I'm like, you can do that, girl. So when I found out that, I literally I had another talk with my mom. I told them, and my mom just literally helped me to take hormones. But before that, before starting my transition, I used to take black market hormones, which is basically hormones from other girls that they would just inject you or whatever. Perlutas, cuerpo amarillo, that's what it was called. These are hormones from Mexico. And so I had older trans women that would give me some. My trans mother, her name is Monica. She helped me with getting those. Also, of some of the famous female impersonators and trans activists like Ginger Valdez. She also helped me getting onto the hormones or whatever. And then when I did had a actual insurance, and I was able to go to a doctor, obviously, which was that was like for 2 years after. I was taking black market hormones for 2 years, and then I started going to a doctor, and getting the correct hormone therapy treatment. Yeah. So after I graduated from high school, I just obviously my life was just about traveling. I would travel. That was when I went. That was 2007 when I graduated from high school. And then I was just traveling. I didn't know what I wanted to do still. I was just hanging out with friends, going out parties, clubbing, obviously every Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And like I said, I met a lot of people, a lot of LGBT people, a lot of different genders. And like I said, I just never felt right with myself. I was basically, I would wear very tight clothes. I was very flamboyant back when I graduated from high school. So that really brought me into like finding myself. I was trying to find myself, and what I wanted to do, obviously, after I graduated. And so I traveled. I went, and when I went to Miami, 2008, I met this trans woman in I forgot the name of the club, but it was in Miami. It was in Miami. And she was so beautiful that I was just like, wow, I want to look like her, or stuff like that. So we left, and then we came back, and afterwards I just like I said, trying to find myself, trying to figure out what is it that I wanted to do. I later on, after that, like I think it was 2009, that I just started my hormone treatment. And how I did it was because, like I said, my trans mother, people that I met, they would give me a hormone shot. They would inject me, and then I would basically just I had already told my mom that I had to come out again out the closet, I guess, as a trans woman, because that's what I like. I didn't know what it was, what transgender was back then. And so after I found out, then I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm not gay, I'm trans, and this is what trans is. And then my mom was just like, but no, you can. And I'm like, yes, I can. I want to. And then my mom is like, but how are you going to survive? What's that? Because my mom, obviously, she has met some, but never. And they always had that feeling that trans were nothing but prostitutes and escorts and nightlife, and she didn't want that for me. And I was like, no, Mom. And by then I brought my trans mother, which is Monica, and I'm like, look it, this is Monica, and then my mom obviously didn't know, and I'm like, she's trans and she's a hairstylist. She has two businesses. She's a successful woman. Obviously, I can do that too. Like, and I can be trans, and I want to be trans. I want to live my life as a woman because that's how I always felt. You know that. And I told my mom, and my mom was like, okay, but let's just take your time. Take your time on. Don't rush. And then obviously that's what I did, and I took my time. I didn't rush. I let the hormones just sink into my body, and it was just that experience that growing up, obviously I felt that I was always a woman because I am a woman, and obviously taking the hormones gave me a booster of the femininity of, and then I always saw myself in the mirror, and just like, I'm like, this is something that I always wanted. I always go back to my old pictures, and then I go back to what I look now, and obviously you can see the difference. That's what hormones does. They change you, they soften you up so fiercely, that it's an amazing experience. And that's why I always say that if you're gonna transition, you want to transition, take your time. It's your life. It's your experience. It's your experience. You don't need to rush. Like I've heard some other girls, they want to rush because they want to get implants already. They want to, no, girl, you have your whole lifetime. Transition on your own time. You're always going to be taking hormones, obviously, but you don't need, just because this one got titties and the other one didn't, doesn't mean that this one's better than the other one. No, you're taking your time. And that's what I always thought, and I always kept in my head, that I'm like, I'm gonna take my time because nobody's rushing me. This is not a pageant. I'm not running for a crown. No, I already have a crown after I came out to my mom being trans. That's what I gained. So when I first came out as being gay, that was, like I said, my junior year of high school. I was 16. Obviously, my mom already knew, but she wanted me to say something. I would go to school like tired because I would sneak out the house. I would sneak out the house on Thursdays to go to the clubs and hang out with my friends or whatever. And my mom caught me like the sixth time. Not the first, not the second, no, the sixth time she caught me walking in. And then obviously she's like, where did you go? What the hell are you doing out at this late? I got home like at maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was 16. So that's how rebel I was. But I was obviously going to the gay clubs, and I never told my mom that. That time, I didn't tell my mom until later days. My private school called my mom, and then because they saw me that I was falling asleep and in some of the classes, and my mom was like, that's why they had that meeting about me, because my mom did told them that I was sneaking out the house, obviously, and going to the clubs or whatever, or just whatever, doing whatever, and so I got in trouble in school, obviously, but then later on I went home with my mom, and then me and my mom had a serious talk, and obviously I just busted out crying and crying and crying. I told my mom, yeah, Mom, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. And I was just crying in bed. I remember I was laying down in bed, facing down, and my mom was just like on beside my bed. And I was like, I'm gay. I know that you know. And she's like, I know that you were special. But she always thought, and she always told me, this is just a phase. This is just a phase. You're gonna get out of it, and watch. And I'm like, Mom, no, no, I'm gay, and whatever. And so days and years went by, obviously, and I still kept doing whatever I wanted to do, obviously. And so I was kind of not bad. I wasn't that bad growing up, but my mom already knew, like I said, because I did tell her now, and she just wanted me to be safe, obviously, but didn't want me to go out, obviously. And she met some of my gay friends, and we would always go to my house, party in the yard, or party in front of my house, just us. But my mom never wanted me to be out there in the world. No, she always wanted my friends to come to the house, and she would like get together at the house or whatever, and that's the party that she wanted me to have at the house. So what was more difficult to come out, because like I said, I came out twice. So I think coming out the first time, it was difficult more than the second time, because since the first time wasn't ready I wasn't ready, and I didn't know how she was going to react. And obviously when I told my brothers and sisters, they looked at me and they're like, we already knew. We were just waiting for you to come out. And that's where all my brothers and sisters, they said. And so obviously it was like a way of support. They were the first ones I told that when I came out as the first time as being gay. But they already knew, and so that was easy. But with my mom, it was hard to come out like that. And after the whole drama with the school and all that stuff, and then me falling asleep and stuff like that. But then later on, as I was living my life, obviously going out, going to trips with my friends, because I also went to Puerto Rico like 3 times, and then Miami, and then I kept growing up, and then 2 years later, or 3 years later, obviously I met trans women. And then how I told my mom, it was just like a normal chat, and I told my mom, these girls right here, I was showing her pictures. I'm like, look at these girls are trans women. That's what I want to be. And so she just like, wait, what? And then she's like, yeah, I'm not gay, I'm trans. And then I had to explain to her, and she's like, what trans was. And then she's like, no, you can't. Are you gonna cut it? I'm like, no, not right now. Maybe later. But I'm still gonna take hormones and feminize myself. And so obviously she understood it, and she just like, well, just take care of yourself. And so when that happened, oh my God, my whole life changed. It was much easier for me. I would go to my therapist, and I will go. My mom would even take me to get my hormones or whatever. Coming out, I remember coming out of work. I went to so there was this funeral that happened, and so I obviously you know how funerals is the only place where all the family gathers or whatever, and they see each other and they just mingle and talk or whatever. So that day, or that day, obviously people didn't know, my family didn't know, my outside family, my brothers and sisters, they knew or whatever, but my other family didn't know that I was transitioning. And so this was like maybe 3-4 months later, after me starting taking hormones. My mom told my entire, because my mom's godson passed away, and so that's how we went. My mom paid for everything. My mom paid for the funeral, the burial, everything. And so my mom wanted me to go, and I was like, no, I don't want to go. I'm not comfortable for them to see me. And she's like, you better come over here. So I went, and obviously the moment I walked in, like, people just were staring at me. A lot of my cousins, like, what the fuck? Or whatever. They knew that I was gay, but now they see me with makeup, and my hair is long. I look more feminine. Obviously I'm wearing women clothing. So they were just like, everybody was in shock or whatever. And then my obviously my sisters and my other cousins that all kind of knew or whatever because of social media, that I do have or whatever on social media, they were like, oh my God, it's finally to meet you. What's going on and stuff like that. But obviously my mom silenced the whole room, and she didn't make me go over there because I was not gonna go, bitch. That was gonna be a severe thing. But my mom, she said, obviously talking, she's like, okay, so we're gathered here, blah blah blah, to celebrate the life of my godson that passed away or whatever and stuff like that. But now I wanna say something, and I don't care what you guys say or do. I don't care, because this is my new daughter. And as you guys see her over there, she said she doesn't want to come over here, but you guys see her over there. That's my new daughter. Her name is Esmeralda. And when that happened, oh my God, I was just like this, just like I was bawling. I was bawling, but my sisters, my cousins, they were just there, and then I remember hearing people just like, what the fuck or whatever. But obviously my cousins were just like there to embrace me and to love me. And when my mom did say that I don't care if you guys don't like her, she does not need anything from you. I'm her mom, and she only depends on me, and so whatever I say, it's gonna be done with her. And so I don't need you guys to be talking shit to her, or telling her. If you guys don't want to talk to her, that's fine. Don't talk to her. But what you're not gonna do is disrespect her. And so, girl, everything was silent after that. And then my mom just came, and she like left. She came and she just hugged me, and we were just there. It was that moment. It was so much. It was just a relief, that I was able to, like, now everybody knows my name, or like my family knows my name. They know that I'm Esmeralda, and they know that my mom is serious about me and my life. And that was the moment that I literally was able to spread my wings, more, and just fly away, and live my life. Live my life how my mom always wanted. Because when she told me too that when she gave birth to me, she thought I was gonna be a girl. And then obviously I wasn't. But look at me. I am like how my sister said, I was a beautiful cocoon. Now I'm a beautiful butterfly, because my sister loves butterfly, Judy. My mom means the world. Obviously, my mom means the world. I don't think I would have chosen a different mom, because she, like I said, we have our troubles, just like every family has their troubles. But my mom knew how to talk to me. My mom knew how to obviously be there for me, and listen to me. And my mom read my diaries. I guess it's because of what she read, and she understood. And I always told her, I'm like, Mom, I like I said, if you think that I wanted this lifestyle, no, I was born like this. And so for when my mom heard that, she obviously just understood, and she's like, that's right, my son, my daughter was always like this. Because when I was young, my mom told me that I would grab her lipstick and her heels, and I would go running around the house. My dad caught me, he would hit me, stuff like that. And so it was, like I said, my mom knew and understood afterwards. And now to this day, my mom goes to church, and my mom always prays for me. I always pray. I always tell my mom that I don't have to go to church for me to have a relationship with God, because I always pray going to sleep, or like I said, I always talk to God in my diaries, because I'm 32 years old, but I still write in my diaries. I have so much that I've written, because that's a way of me uh, coping, I guess, or releasing stuff. I do have best friends, but the way that I express myself, I write it more. And like I said, if my mom um, dies, que no lo que I hope she doesn't until like I after I die. I know that it's gonna hurt me so much that I think I will die with her. So when my mom gave birth to me, she like I said, she thought that it was gonna be a girl, and so she already had that name already, Esmeralda. She already had that name in her mind, and so she was just waiting for my dad. But then the nurse came, obviously the doctor, and said there was a boy. So then obviously they named me after my father, which was a mess. But anyways, after I came out, me being trans, obviously, or no, the first time me being in drag, me and my friends, my drag mother, which is Leah Ninja, we were in drag, and they're like, "Bitch, we're getting you in drag, but you don't even have a name." And then so obviously I'm like, oh shit, we don't have a name. So what's gonna be my name? And so I remember we were watching the Discovery Channel, and it was about history, and they were showing about the Mayans, the Incas, the Aztecs. So I'm like, Mayans, Maya, just name me Maya or whatever. So that was my middle name, right? So then after transitioning, I was obviously I was gonna get my name changed and all that stuff. And when I did get my name changed, which is it's gonna be 5 years, yeah, 5 years tomorrow, August 21st, 2015 was when I changed my name. My documents, everything was uh, all changed, and who went was my mom. Obviously, my mom went there, and then I remember that at the when you get your name changed, you have to face a judge, and then the judge asked my mom, or no, asked me, obviously, why do you want to change your name? And I told her, well, because I'm a trans woman, and obviously my appearance doesn't go with the birth name that I have, and so that's the reason why I want to change it. Obviously, my mom also said the same thing, but she's like said that the story that when she gave birth to me, she thought she was gonna be that I was gonna be a biological woman, and so she already had a name, Esmeralda, and so now she wants to rebirth me as Esmeralda. So that's what happened in the judge court. The judge basically started crying. She's like, "That is the wonderful story I've ever heard." The most difficult part of my life, or basically it was when I started transitioning, getting jobs. I remember I was applying to jobs, and I would get interviews, but because of my name, my documents, and obviously, and then appearing to them as a female, and they saw all of that documents, and so basically we'll call you later. That was the most difficult, and I couldn't get a job. So obviously I did without my mom's permission. Obviously I would go out and go have fun with my friends, but I did do sex work because I needed to earn money, and so I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of it, and I remember. Doing sex work, it was not something that I wanted to do, but I had to do it because I needed to get money, and so a lot of us go through that. A lot of us trans women go through that growing up. Obviously, you might depend with your family and all that stuff, but as a person that you're trying to survive, you're trying to grow up, you want to earn your own money, and trying to live and just be you, obviously. But I always wanted a job, and like I couldn't get it. So that's why when I got my name changed, I rebirth my rebirth or whatever. I was so happy. I was the happiest person because I was able to do, and obviously not get discriminated. I was able to just get a job, and obviously people would not find out that I was born a male and obviously now a female. The most beautiful moment that I had in my life was me surprising my mom for her 60th birthday. We did a surprise birthday party, and I was the one in charge, obviously. And I had all my brothers help me out with money, with food or whatever, and we surprised my mom. And my mom was the happiest woman on earth. And her best friends were there. Her co-workers were there. I'm gonna see if I can find a video and send it to you, but there's a video out there of my mom, and she was the most happiest woman, and I was happy for her. When I look in the mirror, yeah, I just look at myself and I'm like, bitch, you can go even farther. You look great, but you can go farther. So that's what I always tell myself. If I would rebirth again, like you're saying, would I take this same life that I am living now? I think I think I would. I think I would. I would not go back to no other life or being a different kind of life. No, I think I would. Not only because of the stuff that I have struggled, but because it's obviously we all have a different experience, and I think my experience like growing up and stuff like that, it was harsh, but life is not easy. And so I don't expect it to be easy if I do have a different type of life. I enjoy this life. I'm living my life. So no, I would basically grab the same life.